Alright, Matt fam, we got images as well that go along with the promos for the coming episode of The Walking Dead, episode 7. There's only 2 episodes left, and then we get that break. The break should be fun. I got some fun stuff planned for the break, but also, I've gotten a lot of requests lately, and I mean a lot, to do a couple of the old school Q&As. I thought, since there is a break coming up, and since the big Rick reveal on what happened to him, I didn't want that spoiled, and I didn't want it spoiled in the comments. That's why I even backed off of doing prediction videos when it came to the Rick situation. But if you guys want to put some questions down below, I might pop up a couple, as long as the demand is there. Who knows? There might be a lot of people blowing my spot up, on Facebook or Instagram, and not so many people actually on YouTube. So if you got questions you want to put in a Q&A, put, at Make a Path Presents. It's easier for me to see it. It actually highlights it on my screen, or just simply put Q&A first thing in your comment. Anyway, looking at these images, we got Yumiko injured with a little bit of blood. I would have imagined she would have washed up or something, even just a sponge bath. So not really sure if this is a new injury or new blood, because we do see them running into trouble coming up. Now, here is part of that trouble. Both the 2 new characters, are they sisters? I think I totally overlooked that. They are sisters, right? Anyway, they got kind of Stranger Things looking. I mean, that's identical to Lucas's. In Stranger Things, he has the same, whatchamacallit. What is that? I know what that is. Let's pretend I said the name for it. But you know what I mean. Slingshot. I just can't see a little wrist rocket destroying walkers, but there is a cool image where it rips right through a walker's head. Maybe they don't each have one. Maybe they share. I don't know. But they're expanding the different type of weapons used. Anyhow, I know McFarlane Toys is already happy about that, because if they ever make a toy, they have the Stranger Things mold. They could just simply do the same slingshot. Anyway, we got our crew running up. I see a lot of people pointing out, hey, wait a minute, the guy, the savior that Carol killed and that's not the same guy. It looks a lot like him, but when I was doing the deeper into the script, if you look, someone yells Jed, and I believe that savior's name is Jed. So I don't believe that is the same one. It looks a lot like him. I'll try to get confirmation, but from what I just double checked, it looks a lot like him, but it is not him. I could be wrong on that, but I'm almost positive that isn't the savior. Anyway, they're running, some shit pops off. I'm going to come back to this kind of, sort of, because it looks like they're on their way to the hilltop, and they go in 2 different directions. So they go to tackle 2 different things. The first thing is this. If you notice in some of these images, they're actually at their old campsite, or where their stuff was, where their rig was turned over, and where we first met them at. And it realistically, it makes sense. Instead of just going straight to the community, they would stop off, and this looks like all the same area. They would stop off at this here. It's the same as in the comic book. It's kind of like a shipping container. I believe in the comic it was being pulled along. Same idea possibly here. Now that I'm seeing it, on screen, it looks a little bit heavy. No, they got a wheel system set up here. So either the herd could roll through, or it could be connected to the new villain, the Whisperers, which would make sense, because if a herd just rolled through and ripped it to shit, all right, we've seen that happen. But if it was a little more weird, that it looked like somebody else came and rummaged through it, that's not something walkers would do. But it is something Whisperers would do if they're scavenging for extra shit that they want, So maybe they get back to their spot, and they find it all ripped to hell, and it's a little strange, and it's a little more like what a walker would do. Here is Yumiko and Magna upset. Magna's grabbing some of her stuff. Dead walker right there. That's gotta stank. But she could be sad because that dude that they lost, his dead body's gotta be here somewhere. Maybe they even see him as a walker here, and they end up killing him. Who knows? That could be the guy right there, but it looks like she is grabbing some of her stuff, and something is going on. I have a feeling, since they already took a loss, that it connects with that loss. And again, this could be their friend, that Brent guy or whoever they were talking about. But this looks like them coming up on their stuff, and it is thrashed. And again, keep in mind, if this was just a herd going through, it wouldn't make sense that it looked like a SWAT team raided the place and threw everything around. And then here's Michonne thinking, maybe this girl, this chick is lying to me, because maybe something else is going on, because who would do this? They know more than they're telling us, than they're leading on. But here, in fact, it's not. It's actually the Whisperers, the new villain that's just hiding among the walkers, which is so fucking cool. Next, we got an image of Carol chit-chatting with Daryl. There's not much here, just them kind of catching up what Daryl's been doing since the 6-year time skip, or a little bit of what he's been doing. He's got this home away from home. He has some books. Maybe he's using that as a chair. I mean, maybe he's actually reading. I don't know. And yeah, Daryl has a dog, and he's got this raft, it looks like, where I'm assuming he gets around on. Maybe that's not a raft, but it looked like a raft. When I first saw it, I assumed it was a raft. And this is interesting, and this could also be here as a setup. Keep an eye on this. Daryl is living just like back in the olden days, where you used everything. When you hunt, when you killed an animal, you didn't just eat the meat. You used the bones to make weapons or weapon handles. You used the bones to make utensils and shit like that. You used the hide of the animal. I mean, nothing went to waste. Unless you're the white man hunting the buffalo, then those fuckers wasted everything. Anyway, all the meat rotted. Anyhow, so this is what Daryl's doing, but also keep in mind, this is clever in a way that I'm speculating they're going for. I don't think a lot of people, it's fresh on their mind about what this is. I think a good chunk of people could see that and be like, okay, he's curing the hide. He's, I don't even know, and I've read on this, and I don't even know, I've forgotten most of what I've learned and known about it. But essentially it's making the hide tougher so they can use, drying it out, making it more, making it usable. All right. Now, again, we're going to see the villains do something similar, and it's going to be different in a way than an animal skin. So it makes sense that the writers would prop this in here and keep it fresh on our mind when we see it later, but a little bit different. A variant of the animal skin. That part I love. I love that so much. And again, it's only a little touch, and it's here again in the background, so they're keeping it fresh in our head. Now, Daryl's got a wound here. We do see the preview we talked about the other day, where he was fighting off walkers trying to save his dog. I do think this is simply the aftermath of that. And again, I feel like everything's connecting to the Whisperers. Maybe the Whisperers came up on his camp, and they want to investigate a little bit more. And this is the sick thing about the Whisperers. Sick is in a cool way, but also sick and demented is they don't have to come and attack you directly. They lead their little mini herd army that they got, if they got 4 or 5 walkers with them, and they sink back into the herd as the walkers go forward, and then they use the walkers as dummies to investigate, to attack, to distract. I mean, it is clever. And then once someone is distracted, they think it's just walkers, then they attack. Or they can sit back and just simply watch. So that part also with the walkers I love. And here's him and Henry when the dog is being attacked. And I'm hoping we're getting some type of creepy build up there. And then here's Daryl with some type of animal. I guess he shot a bunny. A bunny rabbit. He's going to eat it. And then it looks like that is his bed. That's where he sleeps. Oh, shit. Yo, that would be badass. Okay, maybe it's not just a boat, but maybe instead of just sleeping all reckless like in the woods, that is badass if he lets that float away a little bit. He anchors it, but lets it float away a little bit, so that way he can either hear walkers coming, or walkers aren't normally like trudging through the lake and the shit like that. Yo, I love that idea. I hope they do something similar. I like that idea, instead of being reckless and passed out on the ground, where a walker could just walk up on you and start chomping away. If he, anchors it, but lets it float out a little bit. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't think they're going for that, but there's something about that I really like. So we got the new character Connie, and then Magna. This is in the promo where they hear something or see something and they stop. This I want to highlight. I love this so much. I love the mixture of and it's so funny when you say this, because this is the new world. New world technology and vehicles and yada, yada, yada. But in this world, in the post-apocalyptic world, this is now the old world. So it's the old world mixed with the old world, creating this beautiful imagery of horses pulling the back end of a pickup truck with wheels. I don't know, man. I fucking love that. It's like a little modern day wagon. Love it. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid, but I love that silly shit. And then we have just some characters being pulled along. And here is the front of what that wagon would look like, with Yumiko and this guy who looks like the Jed Savior. Man, he looks a lot like that Savior, but I'm telling you what, I don't think that's him. And then we just have him shown. And again, so this does give us one good clue. The most interesting thing, I think, is the hints of the whispers and the setup with the skin, drying the skin. Fucking love it. But one thing is where they go. They're going to where we first saw them to pick at some of their supplies. And there's also something that catches their attention. They're being watched. Somebody else is out there. And also we see them running as if there's shit popping off. And again, their story is going straight for Rosita and Eugene's story, also colliding with Aaron and Jesus, as well as Daryl and Carol and them, because later on in the trailers we see a mixture of those characters together. We know everyone's story is kind of leading to a head, so the flare could also get their attention, and that is what they might be running to when we saw that image right here. When we see this image here, they could be running to that flare that got shot up, and then that way that'll connect them with the Hilltop story, just as we're getting the Whisper reveal. So psyched. Alright, thoughts and opinions in the comment box. What do you think about this? And then put your Q&A questions down there. We're going to get that on and popping, and I'm going to shut up and get right on to the next video. Alright, talk to you soon.